presentation. 7 ways why listening and questions are free and profitable. In a world obsessed with answers, it's easy to overlook the quiet prowess of well-placed, energizing questions, as energizing questions are the kind that stir your soul curiosity and your heart's harmonious wisdom. As maverick questions, the ones that challenge the conventional thinking, knowing, and the emotional snapshots that control you today, that are liberatingly free to ask, yet they unlock embodied wisdom that rises you out of credentials, budgets, and permission. They bypass system, ignite intuition, and expose blind spots that are expensive strategies. Often miss the point and the outcome. These questions are free because they're sovereign, as the questions are free because they're sovereign. Born from curiosity, destroying control, and they're profitable because they spark clarity, innovation, and broadcasting the brilliance to witness your life that ripple through every corner of life and business. When you ask boldly, you never shift your mindset, you rise to your outcomes. Why energize listening and maverick question enterprise autonomous expansion. Questions and listening activate your inner CEO, destroying your outer echo. Energize listening tunes into your frequencies of foresight, never the noise of external validation. Maverick questions challenge inherited scripts and ignite original thinking. Together they build an internal enterprising wizardry, one driven by intuition, imagination, innovation, and inspiration, never by the imitating somebody else's program. Energized listening and maverick question decentralize authority and awaken sovereignty. Instead of outsourcing wisdom to systems, experts, or trends, you begin sourcing it from within, so you win from within. Energized listening hears what what's the vibrant veracity beneath what's loud. Maverick questions ask what's never been asked. That's how autonomous expansion begins from the inside out. They turn insight into infrastructure. Autonomous expansion is never just about freedom, it's about the structure that flows from clarity. It's about the sculpting of your dreams and your desired lifestyle. Energized listening unveils what's aligned as maverick questions design what's next. You never you never just grow, you're the architect of your evolution. Why is energizing listening and maverick questions are free and extremely profitable? They cost nothing to ask but unlock everything you're never seeing. Energizing listening and maverick questions never require money, status, or permission, yet they unveil the blind spots you're trying to travel through. They spark innovation, inspiration, imagination, and unleash your sleek, unique talents. And surface truths never transform strategy as energizing question, listening and maverick questions. They awaken your adventurer's ardor for you to soar and look straight in through the darkness to see the light of the illuminated wisdom within your life. They're profitable because they exposed what's been quietly costing you. They disrupt autopilot and activate insight. These questions challenge assumptions, rattle comfort zone, and ignite fresh foresight. That disruption is where breakthroughs begin, while others pay for consultants to tell them what they already understand. Maverick questions lead you to what you've never considered, and that's where the profit lives and is waiting for you to manifest. They multiply value without draining resources. Unlike traditional tools that deplete time, energy, or capital, these questions generate clarity, alignment, and momentum. They scale across teams, spark culture shifts, and fuel choices that compound over time, free to ask, priceless in return. While I listen my way to the penthouse and talk my way to the outhouse. Listening elevates talking, talking unchecked deflates whatever you're trying to do. As you energetically listen, you absorb insight, decode the nuances of your dreams, and bridge trust between your spirit and your enterprising wizardry. That's what gets you invited to the penthouse, where wisdom, opportunity, and influence reside. As talking becomes permissive or ego driven, it disconnects you from veracity and lands you in the outhouse of misunderstanding and missed opportunities. The penthouse is built on presence. The outhouse leaks with noise of your egotistical arrogance and know it all ignorance, stubbornness, and hard headedness. Listening is presence. It's the quiet prowess that reads the room, senses the rising revelations within it, and responds with clarity. Talking without awareness, on the other hand, often leaks energy, reveals blind spots, and creates messes you never intended. The outhouse is where unchecked words go to stink. That is what they do. Unchecked words go to stink because I've done that a few times. Listening earns respect, talking demands it. People lean in when you listen, they open up and collaborate and elevate you. But when you talk to prove, impress, and dominate, you push others away. The penthouse is earned through humility and curiosity. The outhouse is where the ego goes when it forgets to tune in to the conversation or whatever it is in life. Why energize listening and maverick questions energize leadership wisdom. They turn noise into nuance. Energized listening is never passive, it's precision, prowess, rising you to your liminal carpet glide. It tunes into what's said, unsaid, and felt beneath the surface. Maverick questions cut through the static, unveiling insights that conventional thinking misses. To, Together, they enterprise leadership from being reactive to life to being revolutionary, expressing revelations of the desired outcome. They energetic listening and maverick questions replace performance with presence and prowess. Leaders often feel pressure to have answers, yet wisdom is never about knowing. It's about noticing and expressing the intuitive wizardry flowing through you. Energized listening grounds you in the moment, while maverick questions challenge the moldy old script for you to express the revelations of here and now. That combo invites clarity, communication, connection, collaborate, and coloring your curious contours and invoking your courageous choices of life. Energetic, Energized listening and maverick questions spark evolution, liberating from repetition. Most leadership gets stuck in recycling what worked yesterday. Maverick questions disrupt that loop. Energized listening catches the subtle signals and to hearken the path forward into the paths of enlightenment. Together they fuel adaptive, innovative wisdom, the kind that grows people, never just profits. Why thinking, knowing, and knowledge destroy listening and asking questions. Knowing creates closure, questions invite expansion. When we believe we already know, we stop seeking. The mind closes the moment before deeper insight before, for deeper insight to vanish. Listening thrives in openness. Knowing shuts the door. Thinking fills space. Listening clears the space for you to hearken fresh insight, wisdom, and clarity. The mind loves to analyze, predict, and explain. As authentic listening requires emptiness, a pause and a presence, so you can open up and color the featureless canvas in your subconscious mind with your desired outcomes. Overthinking clutters that space and drowns intuitive signals. Knowledge defends identity, questions dissolve the identity. Accumulated knowledge often becomes armor for the ego. I'm going to say that again. Accumulated knowledge often becomes armor for the ego. We use it to prove, protect, and perform. Asking questions, however, requires humility and a willingness to never know and yet to evolve of your enterprising visionary opulence, lionizing visionary epiphanies to rise, shine, and energize your day. Thinking loops, questions. Thinking loops, questions liberate. Thoughts tend to recycle familiar patterns. Maverick questions disrupts those loops, offering fresh pathways of enlightenment. Without them, we stay stuck in the mental echo chambers of yesterday. And how many times have you stayed stuck in the mental chambers of yesterday? I have a bunch. In fact, most of my life. And I'll be honest, I still do. But I catch myself now so I can rise, shine, and energize and rise out of them. Knowing seeks control, listening surrenders to discover certainty, as certainty feels safe, yet it's often rigid. Listening invites surprise, nuances, and depth of understanding, wisdom, insight, clarity, and imagination. It's never about control, it's about connection, collaboration, and contours of your desired lifestyle. Knowledge builds walls, questions open doors. We use knowledge to categorize, label, and separate. Questions do the opposite. They unify, explore, and invite. One limits, the other liberates. Knowing ends the journey, asking begins it. The moment we claim to know, we stop moving. However, every question is a doorway to more, to soar. More veracity, more wisdom, more awakening. To rise, shine, and unleash your adventures are door for you to soar through life with sovereign optimism, appreciating revolutionary revelations that rise and shine you into today. Why politically incorrect inspiration awakens energized listening and maverick questions rise me to experience my relaxed, polished lifestyle. They shatter illusions and surface authentic veracity. Politically incorrect inspiration often bypass socialized obedient filters and challenge the status quo. Whoa, this rawness awakens deeper listening, never to what's acceptable, but to what's now and with a nowality foresight. That honesty is the gateway to authentic freedom. They provoke maverick questions that disrupt mental autopilot. How is the world stuck on mental autopilot? I witness that every day, and sometimes even in myself. But however, if I'm witnessing it in the world, I'm witnessing it inside me. When inspiration defies convention, it sparks questions that never fit the mold. These maverick questions break habitual thinking and open fresh, illuminated pathways of enlightenment. The kind that lead to clarity, innovation, and elevated lifestyles. They liberate you from inherited limitations, social correctness, and often reinforces in, that often reinforce beliefs and silent compromises. Politically incorrect insights invite you to question what you've been taught and choose what truly aligns you with your relaxed plush vision of life. They activate intuitive listening beyond performance. Energized listening is never about hearing what's safe. It's about sensing what's valid and unleashes your vibrant veracity to look life in the eye with a spry, liberating foresight. Unfiltered inspiration trains your ear to resonance, never reputation. That's how you start designing life from intuition, never imitation. And see, that's something when you follow somebody else's program, you're imitating them. You're also stuck in their limitations and everything outside of that program. They flip discomfort into expansion. What's politically incorrect is often emotionally charged, and that charge is forthright fuel to light your light of life. It forces you to feel, reflect, and calibrate your contours of innovation. The inner calibration is what elevates your lifestyle from reactive to refined to drink to wine and dine in your desired lifestyle. They dissolve the need to impress and perform. When you embrace unconventional veracity, you stop chasing approval. That shift frees up energy, attention, and innovation, all of which flow into your designing a life that feels plush, relaxed, and free of all pressure. They align you with your sovereign scenarios of stunning seashores of Son of the Fun splendor. Your relaxed, plush lifestyle is never built by following rules. It's built by listening to your own rhythm of your rock and roll talents. Politically incorrect inspiration and maverick questions show you the way to tune into your rhythm and rise with it. Why energetic liberation electrifies energized listening and maverick questions to rise me to experience my relaxed and plush lifestyle. How you like that? Relaxed, plush lifestyle. Liberation clears static. Listening tunes in the sovereign signals of transcending wizardry. Energetic liberation dissolves a mental clutter, emotional noise, the emotional snapshots, and inherited expectations that block clarity. Once liberated, your listening becomes electric, attuned to intuition, imagination, innovation, and inspiration, aligned with visionary veracity, and receptive to the subtle cues that guide you with ease, elegance, and flow. Liberation breaks the script. Maverick questions write your own scripts of stunning success, bliss. When you liberate yourself from societal scripts, you stop asking what's acceptable and start asking what's authentic. Maverick questions emerge naturally, bold, intuitive, and disruptive in the best way. They show you a way to design a lifestyle that's never just relaxed and plush, but deeply yours to enjoy your way. Liberation activates sovereignty. Listening and question become the foresight of broadcasting liberation, wisdom, inspiration, and clarity from within you to the world as you hearken the wisdom of the world. Once liberated, you stop reacting and instantly begin broadcasting. Energized listening becomes a radar for resonance. I've had trouble with that word for a long time. Resonance. Maverick questions become fashion designed artistry. Together, you are architects of your life of softness, spaciousness, and sovereign luxury, rising of calming luxury, and conscious elevation. Why energized listening authorizes me to hearken the wisdom, insight, and clarity of my daily scampers to ask maverick questions. Energized listening turns your daily chaos into cosmetic clues. Your scampers, your scampers are the errands of the contours that rise you out of yesterday, and the overheard conversations are packed with hidden savvy signals. Energized listening is never passive. Its radar. It picks up the gold in the noise, the truth in trivial, and the spark in the mundane. That's how you instantly begin asking questions that actually clear away the clutter, and you stop puttering in yesterday's poopy doo. The kind that flip the moldy old scripts to from here and now, moldy old scripts to experience here and now, wow scripts. It upgrades your vibe from reactive to revolutionary revelations. As you listen with presence, sass, and soul, you stop reacting to life and start decoding it in your dreamers' daredevilry. You catch the patterns, the paradoxes, the punchlines. Suddenly, your questions aren't just clever. They're they're catalytic. Maverick questions rise from the clarity, and they never ask for permission. They show you the way to your promised land. It makes you the CEO of your insight empire. How does it feel to be the CEO of your insight empire? Energized listening gives you the authority to trust your own wisdom. You stop outsourcing veracity and start owning it. Your daily scampers become field research. Your questions become strategy that shows you the better way. And your life is plush, playful, and unapologetically aligned with your dreamer's dexterity. Why energized listening and maverick questions liberate me. They dissolve the noise of borrowed beliefs, viewpoints, and opinion. Energized listening quiets the mental chatter of societal scripts, expectation, and inherited opinions. How many of us actually live off inherited opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs from society? I do. I'm awakened now more. I can dissolve them, but until you open up to the awaken to them, you'd never dissolve them. It tunes you into your own frequencies of easy, the ones beneath the noise of the outside world. Maverick questions then pierce the veil, asking why no one else dares to do. Together they free you from the illusion of who you are, who you were told to be, opening up to who you are, showing the world your trend setting talents. They unhook you from the addiction to answers. Most people chase answers to feel safe, but answers can be cages. Energized listening invites you to dwell in the unknown with presence. Maverick questions never seek comfort. They open you up to clarity. That's where liberation lives, never in knowing or knowledge, but in the courage to explore your inner lure. They return authorship to your inner authority. As you truly listen, never to impress, but to understand, you claim your sovereignty. Maverick questions are never about rebellion, they're about alignment with your dreamer's dexterity and your adventurer's ardor. They show you a way to write your own narrative on your own terms, in your own liberating lingo of let's go. It's more than freedom, that's that's sovereign prowess. While energized listening and maverick questions illuminates my pathways of enlightenment. They turn noise into navigation nerve. Energized listening is rises you out of hearing. It's about decoding your dreamer's dexterity. It filters out the static of distraction and tunes you into the subtle signals of visionary veracity. Maverick questions then act as flashlights, unveiling hidden corridors of insight. Together they they more than guide you, they illuminate the terrain of your inner evolution. They disrupt the autopilot and activate the awareness. Most people live by default, never by design. How's the world living by default, afraid to design their here and now? Wow. Energized listening wakes you up to what's actually occurring within and around you. Maverick questions challenge the script, shake the system, invite you to see with fresh, innovative eyes. That's how enlightenment begins, illuminating your paths of peace and prosperity. Never with answers, but with awakened attention. They convert experience into embodied wisdom. Your life is full of raw data, emotions, and patterns encounters. Energized listening shows you a way to absorb it with depth, clearing away the clutter and opening up to the liberating wisdom, insight, and clarity to stroll you on your path of enlightenment. Now, every question show you a way to process it with precision. The result is never knowledge, but understanding and the wisdom within it. The kind that fuels clarity, sovereignty, and conscious expansion as you rise, shine, and energize. Listening is free, so is questions. It's never expensive to either you don't never you try to hear it rather than listen. Hearing is surface, listening is deeper. But when you hearken to wisdom, you open up to your trend-setting talents. So listening is free, questions are free, talking is expensive because your mind is busy, never hearkening the wisdom of any conversation. And I know somebody that's guilty of that. That's me. Always had to be the talker, the squawker, and the barker. But now that I've opened up to listening, I enjoy listening to hearken to wisdom for me to rise, shine, and energize my flight of life. Understanding life is liberating, invitation, fostering, emancipating events, encounters, and experiences for me to enjoy my life, to enjoy my daily stroll through life. I want to thank you. I'm Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom, and may your life be as blessed as you're a blessing to me and the world.